Cathy McClure, thank you so much for joining me for this exhibition walkthrough at the start of your beautiful new show, Wunderkammer, or Cabinet of Curiosities in German. Congratulations, it's gorgeous.
Thank you.
It's a really, we did a show 2 years ago, and it's really wonderful to see how the work has evolved since that last show.
Yeah.
You want to jump right in and look at some of these exceptional new bronze pieces?
Thank you. Well, first I want to say thank you to you for having the exhibition, for everything that everyone has done at Traver, just helping me get here. It's great to have support, so so thank you.
Yeah.
So Wunderkammer is a cabinet of curiosities, like you said. Since the last show, we have I haven't been here really. I've worked on 2 different residencies. I did Isle Lair up on Orcas Island last summer, and then I went to Charlotte, North Carolina, and I feel like I really dove into what the work or where the work was headed, and also spent some time really understanding that I am also a painter, and I think we were just talking about the last time I had a show with you, I really wasn't leaning into that, and I feel like I have now. I enjoy painting. I love the surfaces. I like the conversation between the sculptural works and the 2-dimensional works, between the animate and the inanimate, and it's just really they're so emotive, their personalities come out. And so during the residencies, I was able to spend some time with them in the garden, when they were in their plastic form, and position the sculptures that I created from multiple different pieces of things that I eviscerated and then found something underneath and then tore it all apart. And so I'm really just kind of mining for my own materials now. And so that's what the bronzes have turned into. The bronzes are really the next step in the evolution of the work. And I'm filled with this joy because I just love the work. I'm in a place where I'm satisfied with it more so than I ever have been with any work, and maybe it's just because I'm here now, but yeah, without the residencies, this work would not be here without, the support from you. So that's,
you touched on, you said a couple things just now that I want to kind of go back to.
Okay.
One is the animate and the inanimate, and you also keep referring to these sculptures as kind of characters, they.
Yes, right.
And they are so much. I mean, they have so much personality,
right,
and so much expression in them. It's interesting. I mean, I think you are such a process-driven artist, and there are these layers of meaning in the work. But at the end of that process and sort of mining all of this meaning and concept, you end up with these very joyful creations. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I love that you've ended with joy, because that's where I want the work to live, in this joyful, sort of whimsical place. I want it to be taken seriously, but I also love the fact that I am creating these characters. I'm making pieces that come to life, through the process, through me taking pieces and parts and seeing if this head looks right on this body. Seeing if this body in fact needs arms, do you get a tail? Do your ears move? So I'm making my own sort of, creatures, really, and yeah, there are recognizable forms in the characters that I've made now. and the evolution of the work from, Mickey Hardwired, which is this huge installation of pieces that are animatronic and they're wired together. That character, I've taken his head and I've put it on one sculpture. I've taken his feet and I put it on another, So as you walk through the show, you can see, this head is also on this plastic piece over here. These feet, were on, actually those feet are on a plastic piece that's in the cabinet. It also goes back to that idea or the thing that happened to me that I just block out of my life completely. And it's really the first time that I've started talking about it in my statement is my house being destroyed by a tornado when I was young. And so I've realized in the last year and a half, really 2 years, that I am coming at this work from a place of destruction. I am taking things and I'm destroying them, and then I'm reimagining them and reconfiguring them in a way that makes sense to me and in a way that makes it relevant and also precious in order for it to survive,
Yeah.
So I just kind of went through a bunch of different phases there to end at tornado, but but yeah, it is something as an artist that I don't even know that I know exactly what all phases of this work mean to me. And I don't have to, and it could mean something entirely different to you.
Yeah, and I think that's interesting. I think as I've gotten to know you as an artist, I do see that you are kind of unearthing, uncovering in your making process. And I love that. Like that there actively. That you aren't starting with a conclusion, you're starting with a question and then you're engaging it and you are taking it in so many different directions and playing with it. And you have been for years. And I mean, it is sort of, it's not like this is some huge departure. In fact, we can look at some of the earlier pieces and see this sort of, this thread that you've pulled at for a long time.
That goes back to that curiosity and that sense of discovery that you came up with, like that you were talking about. And it's, like, what is this, and me making sense of what it is for myself, what is this? I'm curious. I will take it apart and re-envision it and recreate it, like I said before, in a way that makes sense for me. But it is a discovery. It's not, I don't start with a sketch, I don't start with a model, I create as I actively make. And it changes until it's done.
So I actually want to look at a couple of these and talk a little bit about that process, because I think it is something that's very interesting to people. So with these bronzes, you've basically dissected older, vintage, battery operated stuffed animals. And taken their component parts. So, this might be the head from one animal, the arms from another animal, the body from a third animal, the legs from a fourth, the feet from a fifth, in some cases even more. And built them with those component plastic parts first. And then cast them meticulously in bronze.
Painted them before. So painted them while they were still in plastic form, set them in environments, took their photographs,
of course,
even did some printmaking when I was at McCall, which I don't really know where that's going, but it will go somewhere. But yeah, there are phases to the discovery process for me, like even taking the photographs, I'm just like, I get to know the character. But also a thing that, like this element here was never intended to be seen. This was under like a plush animal that no one would have ever seen, like all of this, So that is the really phenomenal thing to me, is that these are all hidden, and I expose them and try to figure out a way to, like I keep saying, put them together in a way that makes sense for me, right? And I've also kept So the bronzes are static, mostly. There's one piece that is completely static, but some of them do move. You know, I'm gonna touch it now. Oh my God. So, you know, some of them do move, but for me, that's a really, that's a very intimate thing, you know, that happens between the person who is drawn to the work, and then, you know, I guess gets to know it on a level of where that person then has a relationship with the sculpture. You know, I don't really know what I'm saying, but you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, there's this intimacy that happens with the bronzes that I don't think is necessarily there in some of the past work, you know, that are more performative. Makes sense. These are, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm just in love with them because they're new.
No, they're beautiful. They're beautiful. They're patina. Everything about them is really special.
Yeah.
And I love that you are making something so precious and something that is going to survive time out of these, frankly, pretty disposable objects that we never give a second thought to. We buy for $10 as a Valentine's Day gift or a Christmas gift for a niece or nephew, and it has a very short lifespan, and then maybe it goes to a secondhand store, and maybe it has a second life, or maybe it doesn't.
Maybe it goes straight into the garbage.
And so to give these creatures this whole new life is really pretty lovely and fun, and it's been really wonderful to watch people engage with them and see how much joy it elicits.
That is amazing to me, because I think that I think they deserve it. You know, I think these pieces deserve to be recognized, and the process that I've created also creates this sense of, oh, but these are mass-produced disposable objects, you know, that are created in mass. And so it brings a little bit of recognition to that, you know, consumerist world that we live in. But, you know, I'm inserting this preciousness to it, you know. So, yeah, I don't know.
Let's take a look at, we included in this show some things that really actually point to the process. You call these pieces anatomy lessons, and they're pieces that you've actually been working on for a very long time. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I created these back in 2007, and they ended up not being in an exhibition, and then so I didn't put them in this exhibition, and then they went into storage, and I haven't seen them since 2007. They've been in a warehouse, and they came back to me this summer, and I kind of fell in love with them again, because they're the skins from the battery operated stuffed animals that I've been tearing apart over the years. It's interesting because I can look at this and I'm like, oh, I know what's under that, right? You know, and that's pretty weird.
They're very fun. I love also that the eyeballs are missing.
Yes, they are missing. Yeah, because I'm using them elsewhere. Yes.
So elsewhere in the exhibition, we have a beautiful little shelf displaying a series of wonderful rings that you created using sterling silver, your background in metalsmithing.
As a metalsmith, yeah.
But with the eyeballs of the animals as the jewel on the ring. And they are hilarious and wonderful. Yeah. Some of them have giant pink eyelashes. Others have little sparkly eyeballs. And they're
really just eyeballs that I was drawn to, you know, and I wanted to.
It's a whole elk philosophy.
Yes.
These little things.
I want to use all those parts of that animal, but yeah, and also to just highlight a particularly sparkly jewel. Yeah. That's an eyeball also, right? So yeah, this one's over 100 pounds, you know, it's another joyful thing, you know, and I mean, it truly is. I've spent a little bit of time on these, you know, lots of sewing. Who knew that that would be something that I would do, but where does the mind go, right?
And then you also have a pretty cool installation over here of the plastics, the plastic interiors,
the plastic mutants.
the mutants.
Yeah.
And
yeah, so this is just my idea of, you know, what a Wunderkammer is for the present day.
just pull hard.
Oh, hi. You know, I'm an installation artist. I've been making things where I, you know, go into a room and change the way that room looks since I, you know, graduated from UW. And so what is the Wunderkammer of today? You know, how many cabinets do people have and get rid of easily too? So these, like they show the work, you know, like I love the fact that they're metal and glass. You can see the plastics. Each one of these moves. They are all pieces that I've created from, you know, the plastics that are underneath the stuffed animals again, but they're my own creations. None of them make a sound. I don't enjoy what they say, so so that's not happening anymore. But they move. They're also very elegant and sculptural as they are.
Oh, totally.
They're
so
you know?
They're so curious.
Yeah.
I mean, they're like,
like what is that?
And I love just thinking like this little green guy down here.
Yeah.
The colors that are used,
the color combinations,
it's incredible.
Yeah.
It's like, so like, why did somebody even bother to put the color under the skin and the stuffing? Like
in a situation where you would think it would just be all be white, right?
Yeah.
You know, like why is this orange head and orange feet and like this color combination?
It's hilarious.
The yellow, the green, the purple sparkly, you know, was it just because that's what happened to be in the warehouse? Who knows? But they're startling in their beauty, you know, and that is going back to what we were talking about before, that sense of discovery. I mean, it's like unwrapping a present, you know. Every time I take the stuffing off, I'm like, oh my God, this is what I have to work with now. You know, how fantastic, you know, now I get to do this with this.
Well, it really is wonderful, Cathy. And
thank you.
It's a real joy to have the work here in the gallery and see all of what you have uncovered and created. And thank you. Congratulations on a beautiful exhibition. The show opens this afternoon and will be up through the 30th of September. So I hope you all will come and see it in person. There's so much more to see in here than we even touched on in this little talk. So
many more paintings and the eyeball rings and all this stuff. And I hope people enjoy the work as much as I do, you know?
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Thanks everyone.
All right. Bye.